Hashtag friendship goals. What's your
Hashtag
least...
fuck off Friday.
This was fun last week when we said what's our least favourite hashtags. Mark just said he cringes if
Did you
ever
see
I
my
put
last
hashtag
one?
hot husband.
Did you see my one last night? Every hashtag under the sun.
No.
You weren't listening. You literally. You
no, I was just trying. No, I was trying to think if I saw it yesterday.
No, but let me just do it. Say something to me.
No, I was trying to think whether I'd seen it. What is the Instagram post? I need more than there was loads of hashtags.
No, it's boring. It's just a boring post. But look, you did this.
Well, I was thinking.
You look like you were swooning in a... God, look at my eyes today. I look like shit.
How are you all? Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Sharon Love. Good morning, Happy Bertie. Hello, Nicola Randall, Warren McAndrew. I've got a bone to pick with you. Warren McAndrew's got a bone to pick with you, Mark.
Because the bone Warren McAndrew is, unfortunately, Maddie wasn't with us and Kiki doesn't do reactions anymore.
Sorry. But I know we're
Warren.
the same. We're gutted.
Yeah, we love their responses.
They've just
Maddie
got shy.
does.
Maddie
doesn't. No, Maddie doesn't. But she wasn't there. She wasn't there when I did it.
Yeah, Kiki's very private.
Oh, Tim, I look forward to that. Thank you. I did get your tweet. I don't often go on Twitter. What was I going to say? Of course. I think the first thing we have to say, it's 20 years since 9/11, and we are going to talk about where we were, where you were when you heard. But apparently there are something like 4 silences happening in remembrance, but also to sort of not commemorate, but to mark the moments that the planes went into the towers. So we'll have a bit of a chat about that. Maybe cast your mind back. It was a curious time for us.
And we thought we would just, because there's a lot of coverage today, and we just thought we would just talk exclusively about where we were. Your memories. We'd like to know your memories, where you were when you heard it.
Absolutely.
We love hearing from you guys. We'll tell you our story, which is quite an unusual one. We only just realised again this morning, didn't we?
Yeah.
About when we heard. So we're going to talk about that in a bit, are we? Not now.
Yeah, I think so. But here's an interesting thing that I was listening, because obviously there's been a lot of coverage about 9/11 during the week. And one of the interesting things that a couple of people were saying, and this is a strange psychological thing, is that people have double memories of it. They have a memory of when they heard about it, and it was playing out. But there's also a secondary memory. People get confused as to what that is when they first see the footage.
Right.
If you think about it, so
I wouldn't remember that.
Well, no, because when I try and remember it,
I think we should just talk about it.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay, well, let's talk about it. Yeah. Sorry, what are we waiting for? Yeah, exactly. So, it was around the time, just prior to me and Nadia meeting. Actually, obviously, it happened. We just started working with each other, and we were shooting in Blackpool.
Well, I was on a train. I was really, really stressed. I was coming from somewhere else. Had to meet Mark. Mark and I already knew that we liked each other.
Don't know how we knew that.
Didn't you know you liked me?
Of course I did.
Were you just going to stop pretending you didn't like me?
No, I couldn't pretend I didn't like you if you got a wet fish and slapped me around the face with it.
Get somebody bring us a wet fish.
Look, you know anchovies are endangered.
Mark, not again. So I was on a train on the way to Blackpool. I was really stressed. I can't remember what, but there was something really stressful. And I'll never forget it. The energy on the train just changed. Because you know how people don't really talk to each other, do they, on trains here? We don't. And the energy changed. And people were all talking to each other. But I was very absorbed with whatever situation I had going on. I think it was something to do with my age, and it was something going on. And it was a slow realisation that something was changing in the atmosphere. And then it became, I just got these just like scattered sentences. Attack, terrorist attack, switched off. Oh, terrorist attack, the way they do. Oh, da-da-da, oh, plane. And that's how I found out. And I hadn't seen a single thing, but I was kind of trying to piece these fragments of conversation together.
Yeah.
What about you? And then, of course, I arrived and we went straight into filming.
Yes.
And then that was the night we got together. So I don't think we saw it till the next day.
No, I don't think we did. I remember it playing out on the radio. I was driving with my AP, assistant producer Hannah, and we were heading up the motorway. And I remember we had radio. Back in that day, it was Radio 1. We were in a crew vehicle. It was just kind of like noise. And suddenly they broke in, and the radio presenter was watching it on a live feed from New York as one of the planes, and as I heard the sentence,
so you heard it
the
live.
sentence,
Yeah.
another plane has gone into the second tower. I looked, I said, what the hell is going on? Now, the weird thing for me, and I don't want to go on about it too much, but we had a connection with someone who was caught up in it. And only 6 to 7 months prior to that, I think, 8, 9 months prior to that, I'd been on the viewing station of, I can't remember which tower the viewing station was in, where you watch the sun set over New York. And so I had a very real sense of the geography and the scale and the size.
Because you'd actually been in the building.
Yeah. And we'd been in there and we'd met a few people and all that kind of stuff. And you know, it was a tragic situation. And you know, one of the many things that one doesn't realise is obviously the terrible tragedy of everyone who died within it. But I mean, an interesting fact when you go to the Ground Zero Memorial Museum is that more people have subsequently died from 9/11 due to inhalation of the dust.
And of course, there's people that are terribly ill. So I've just got something in my eye that are terribly ill as well, aren't they?
Absolutely.
And suffering.
And
But yeah, so what are your memories of where you were?
Angie Bayliss Harrison Mundy was in my living room getting ready to go to work, was horrified.
Yeah, but you just must have, because I didn't watch it live. I can't imagine what it must have been like to know it was happening right then. It was all retrospective.
Because even back then, 24-hour rolling news wasn't such a thing. I mean, it was there, but it was more a cable thing, wasn't it? It's not like everyone had access to Sky News. So bulletins were broken into everywhere.
Did anyone see it live and just literally not believe it? Think it was some kind of like...
Well, Lynn Aoki says, I was in Japan, watched it all unfold on the telly. I eventually fell asleep and had a nightmare about sitting on my roof balcony and a plane coming towards me. I woke up shaking.
11th floor.
Wow.
Not surprised.
Rian Kemp, I have a vivid memory of arriving home from school to my mum ironing with the television on, showing the footage, and she was crying. First time I ever saw my mum cry.
Oh my God, really?
Rian, yeah.
The helplessness of it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Michelle Mead. I was working in a charity shop. I remember praying.
Yeah. Karen Edwards. I mean, I think to this day we still can't. Can I just share a gripe though I have in the coverage, because I think it's really prurient and really grisly, and it really made me cross last night knowing people, families that have been affected by this tragedy. The way in which they demarcate in the news coverage some extra emphasis on the falling man or those that threw themselves from the buildings.
Just awful.
I find it really distasteful.
So distasteful.
Because
it's really
yeah.
gratuitous.
Like, and that what's her name on Sky? She did it. What's her name? Kay Burley. And the way she said it, there was such a sort of faux dramatisation and voyeurism.
Really weird.
Yeah, it's like as if it's not bad enough.
Because if anyone wanted to see those clips, they can go and find them. I don't think... No, but it's the faux concern.
Absolutely.
Because it's not. It's about... Yeah.
It's just an extra detail, because as I was
like
scrolling through a lot of the coverage, they keep saying things. It's really underhand. What they do is they put a wide shot saying this is the image no one wanted to look at, so that they hope that people zoom in. I just think there's something really untoward about the coverage. Of course it was tragic. Of course it was a different component. But everyone who died, and that's why I always stress the point that more people also died after the day than during it, because actually there's no value to the way in which, there's no hierarchy of death, and there shouldn't be given any, and there certainly shouldn't be some prurient sort of emphasis on this awful manifestation of death. I just find it, because no one actually knows, especially the families who lost people, no one truly knows
who fell,
whether that was their loved one or not. And it gives me a reverse goosebumps. It's horrible.
The Peach 72, I was at home with my eldest daughter and it came on. I was shocked and in disbelief. Then as I was watching, I saw the second.
I know, it's just unbelievable. I mean, to this day, when you watch it, you can't quite believe it.
You know what? I'm really glad I didn't see it live.
You just can't quite believe it.
I mean, of course, like you say, the horror is the horror, but I can't imagine what it would have felt like to watch that live, the powerlessness of it.
And obviously I think this was done in a commemorative fashion ahead of the game, but isn't it weird that we've got the whole Afghanistan evacuation thing happening now, with the intensity around it, with all of these kind of, security experts, all around the world, in England and America, saying now 9/11 is far more likely than it ever was in the,
More
in
so
recent
than
years.
ever.
Yeah. It's very weird.
Has anybody watched the 9/11 documentary? Everyone I know that's watched it said it's quite fantastic, Mark. I think we should watch it and
I think
review
we
it.
should. Yeah.
Has anyone watched it?
What did someone say that? I lost my Sharalu. Hi, Sharalu. I lost my dad around the same time, so I was in grief. The lights were on, but no one was home for me. It felt like a movie.
Yes.
It was a haunting time. It was a very haunting time.
Natasha Milchan, my then boyfriend's mother, who lives in New York, was visiting him in Moscow when we heard. We were all in absolute shock. Because we'd all travel so much and everybody's all over the place. I mean, I remember not knowing whether a cousin of mine might have been in there because he was working in New York. You know, you knew someone that was in there, and.
But like the Mrs. Nicky's 6 says, so many people's remains were never recovered or identified. You know,
And it's not only the people that died or have the lung damage or the long-term physical illness. Can you imagine the impact on every single person that was involved with that? You know, the people that saw it fall, the people in the ambulance, all the.
I mean, the views from Brooklyn across the Brooklyn Bridge and all that kind of stuff were just shocking.
How do you get over that
I don't.
shock?
Yeah, I mean, the
Just
weird
out
thing
of
is because
nowhere.
the first time I ever went to New York, the first shot I ever filmed of anything was on the Staten Island ferry coming back to Manhattan. And I remember it was one of those moments when you film in America and you're from Britain, obviously not if you're in America. This, America's designed for film, isn't it? So, and I remember being so tickled pink that the first shot I got on the front or back of the Staten Island ferry was they let us put the tripod up. It's a great big wide, and the wide was the 2 twin towers coming in.
To be honest, somebody else just said that. When I heard it, I didn't really know what the Twin Towers were.
Right.
It just wasn't on my radar at all, the Twin Towers.
But it was the defining feature. I mean, in a weird way, New York's skyline has never been able to clamber back to that sort of seismic. The site, you couldn't even get your head around the site. I mean, me with my vertigo on the viewing station was just absolutely horrendous.
Coco, I was only 5 and was at a birthday party. The adults obviously didn't tell us, but I remember instinctively knowing something was wrong. That's interesting.
Wow.
That memory right back from 5.
Yeah. That's what Kiki always says. You may as well tell me because we always know.
Oh my God! Look what MeTube said there. They still
They still have tower wreckage stored because they need to go through it for remains. Yeah, no. Well, and interesting when you go to Ground Zero.
Who are the people that have to go through that?
Well, when I took Maddie recently, the woman who took us on the tour, and it's not great. I mean, it's
never been on that tour. I really
really
want to go.
is quite something, and it's humbling. It's emotional. It's especially if you have a personal contingent in knowing someone who was in there, or and a lot of people do. But even whilst we were there, there's a huge wall that I think has all the names of everyone or the photos of everyone, and behind it, the woman said there are still ongoing the interned remains of people that they're still discovering. And the day we were there, they just identified the DNA of someone else. They'd had a new victim named that day.
Wow.
So it is, as you rightly say,
I was listening to the radio yesterday.
It's a live crime scene in a sense.
I was listening to it on the radio. Was it this morning? Yeah,
Paula
this morning.
Happy birthday.
To LBC, and there was a woman on there who was a Brit who was in the building, rushed down the stairs, the lights off. I mean, it was such a shame she was on the train, so her story kept breaking up. And it was just another thing around the pandemic. She said, she goes every year. She goes for the more. She goes to connect. She said life is always bizarre for her because she survived this. And it must be so hard for the survivors as well, sometimes, that survivor's guilt. And it's such a big thing to go there every year and to have that memorial. And of course, people can't go this year because we can't fly to America.
And they beam the lights up. Apparently, it's amazing on the skyline. You'll see it on television. They beam the lights up. I think they try and get it to the same height as the Twin Towers. The thing that Maddie found most arresting, obviously, you're right, Michu, but the memorial site centre, is they have the former exterior escalator or set of stairs that you would just come down to enter the building.
Yeah.
And they have I'm trying to remember, I think they have a recreation of, anyway, no, that's right, you can't walk on it. They have an elevator running alongside what were the former steps coming down out of the Twin Towers. Now, not forgetting, they're made out of concrete, the hardest girded stuff, and they're all melted. And you see that those were the final stairs that some people successfully escaped through the bottom. out of there. I mean, it's yeah, you just
Sharon Love Falmouth, there is a memorial down here in Cornwall to a man who, whilst trying to escape Tower 2, rescued a number of people, unfortunately lost his life. Oh, is there? It's more in Cornwall. So many brave actions.
So many brave stories, but little details, like, you know, Steve Buscemi, the actor from, you know, a lot of the Coen Brothers films and Boardwalk Empire, you might know him from. He used to be a New York fire service man, and he donned his cap, put it on, and ran out with all of his mates to just help in the rubble. I mean, he just did, you know, instinctively, you know, so many tales of bravery and selflessness.
Oh, sorry, I just wanted to read that.
Sorry.
That's all right, it's gone.
Sorry.
It's all right.
So yeah, Silcarni. It was my first day of primary school. I only 4 at the time, so don't remember it clearly, but was definitely affected by it, and visited the memorial a few years ago. I was stood ironing. We'll never forget the second plane.
Lynn Eric was watching CNN. We'll never forget the look of utter distress on the face of Aaron Brown,
Yeah.
CNN reporter. That's a really good thing to bring up, Lynn. Imagine the reporters that were having to report live on
Absolutely.
this.
It's like that moment when JFK died. You
Oh.
know, you see news reporters. That's an interesting fact. Thank you, Ramon Latarina. You're right. And what's the name? Hero of Staten Island. What was it? The film that Pete Davidson, who's the comic
Yeah.
from Saturday Night Live, his father was a firefighter and died at the World Trade
Oh, did
Center.
he?
And that film is about that. It's about
Oh.
him after. It's quite autobiographical. The King of Staten Island. It's actually a really good movie. That, go and check it out. It's really, it's sort of like, it's about Pete Davidson's. It's autobiographical, but the context being that, you know, he lives in the shadow of his father who died in 9/11. Rhys Roberts makes an
Oh,
interesting
I
point.
didn't know that. Paul Honeyman, the Duchess of York, was not in the tower because she was running late.
Wow.
Didn't know that.
No, didn't know that. Rhys Roberts, I was quite young, so my brain couldn't comprehend it, but the 2005 London bombings was that visceral for me.
Yeah.
Still think about it often. And do you remember, we were in the office and you were abroad in Spain.
Yeah.
And I rang you and I said, you're not, again, no, there wasn't it wasn't social media. And I rang you and you were like, is everything all right? And I said, no, there's been a huge terrorist attack in central London. It felt like the London Underground was just exploding everywhere. It's just terrible.
I remember because I was doing City Hospital a while after that. And do you remember I had to interview many times that girl who'd lost both her legs. She was an extraordinary young woman. Yeah.
Hi, Nanny Di.
I mean, Hi Nanny Di, through the pandemic, we sort of had a little respite from thinking about terrorism, didn't we?
Yes, yeah, because, I mean, I'm
We were
not
busy
making
with
light
other,
of it.
No, but we were busy with other stuff.
Well, no,
and
also-
today, I think, has just made us
also-
remember all these things.
And also limitations on people who can get into the country for a while. Also, yeah, I mean, I know there's homegrown terrorism, obviously, but, you know, it put a stop to a lot of criminality, actually, lockdown, in many ways. So anyway, so 9/11, do look it up. I think there's the first minute silence is at 1:46 our time, Greenwich Mean Time. And as I say, I think there's one at 2:06 and then there's another one at 2:16. Check the times, they're online somewhere, but there's a minute silence for each of them.
Coda Egan, of course, we'd forgot. I remember hearing the phone calls from the people on the planes and their loved ones. Oh, God. Right,
And
well...
I don't know if you remember, like a week or so, no, it was only about 4 or 5 days ago, we were in the BBC canteen and another plane went down in Pennsylvania or somewhere. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And we all wondered whether it was a
Yeah.
resurgent attack. It
Yeah.
was a very
I remember a few
jangly
years
time.
later us travelling to America, I think because the kids were really small and me being absolutely petrified because I was on a United airline. I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so it is tragic, but let's stop there and just think about Prince Andrew and how he's feeling today. So the story broke last night that Prince Andrew
This is massive.
has essentially been served with papers, which means that the envelope has actually been put in his hand.
Have we got the details on that? Because do you remember a couple of weeks ago there was that article and we were talking about it on Coffee Moaning about how he is staying at Windsor. He was staying in the grounds and they were worried that they weren't going to be able to serve the papers to him because they couldn't get into the grounds and that the case might fold simply because they have to be handed to him before, I think, December.
Now, I don't necessarily know
So I
whether
don't
this
know
means
what's-
they've put in his hand. Virginia, I can never pronounce the surname. How do you
No,
pronounce
it's
the surname?
such a difficult name.
Gif.
Gif.
Can someone write it phonetically for us? Her lawyers say they were served on the 27th of August, left with a police officer at Windsor Royal Lodge.
Oh, well, they must have... Maybe they got some kind of leeway with it then.
I don't know whether that legally means that he essentially has been served.
Because they were waiting to give it to him when he was out horse riding.
Yeah, was that Faith Goodman? They said on TV the papers were given to police at Windsor,
Yeah.
not Andrew. So Andrew could just
Yeah.
theoretically refuse to take them. I'd have thought
Maybe
still.
not. Maybe because it's been handed to a police officer.
Yeah, on his grounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so he's been handed this.
Oh, look, the US judge must determine,
Yeah.
whether they, I see. It might not be, oh, right, so if he doesn't take it from the police officer, come on.
According to court documents...
This will start to look so terrible. If he now doesn't
But
take it from the police officer,
Yeah.
that's going to be just...
I mean, the fact
nobody's
that,
gonna
as
stand
EE
for
says,
that.
his lawyers are trying to use this as a technicality, which is a bit
But
bad,
that's
isn't it?
really, I think that makes him look so bloody guilty if they're going to try and get him off on a technicality.
Yeah. Karen Oliver, well spotted. Why has Toffee got a donut? She's got the donut of humiliation around
I
her
don't know,
neck.
something happened to her
Something
ear.
happened
we
to
don't
her,
know
she's
what,
caught
and then
her
she's
ear.
been itching it. I don't know whether it's a bite or what.
Yeah.
And we noticed yesterday it was bleeding a bit, so we had to put the donut of shame on, and
Yeah.
she took it off last night. She's
How did she
moaning.
take it off?
God knows.
It was
You know
actually
what?
unclipped, and alongside it there was a small espresso cup. It was really strange. I mean, clearly she just decided she wanted to get up early. So yeah, you know, what that means, I mean, obviously it's a civil case, which means damages and everything else, but theoretically he should, I mean, again, can he be forced to go to America even if he's been served the papers?
I don't know. I just
does
don't
it
know. Is there any
work?
Americans here? Do you know?
Can he actually be served? Someone says he still thinks he can return to public duty.
Can we get a shout for Taylor? Taylor? Is that
Taylor's-
his 25th birthday tomorrow? Yes, Storm Addict. We will do that at the end. We'll sing to her.
Happy birthday. So the prince is currently...
How would you feel about it, guys, if he refused to take the papers from the... But you know what? If you knew, you were absolutely knew you were innocent,
Yeah, it's like Paul
but there
Honeyman
was a
says.
risk that you could go to prison, I think I would allow my lawyers to get me off on a technicality.
Paul Honeyman, if he has done nothing wrong, why is he hiding?
Well, because you can get, you know, many an innocent person has gone to jail, haven't they?
The Queen is clearly protecting him, says Tanya Bartlett.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is that Nanny Di saying where you were when oh, Nanny Di, I was working at Wandsworth Prison and all the prisoners were allowed to watch the planes and it was
Really?
mind-blowing. I was
Oh
a
my God.
I was a librarian, not an inmate. Oh, that's very funny, Mum.
Mind you, it was touch and go.
It was touch and go for a minute there, Mum. That's very funny. See, you should write, Mum. You should write. When your legs aren't working properly, you should write. Yeah, so there's Prince Andrew, but Fergie's really standing by him, isn't she? And there was really, I saw a
She was on
story.
Loose Women the other day,
Yeah.
just before it broke that they were trying to serve him, and she must have known, because he would have known by then. And she just, oh my God, she just waxes lyrical about how extraordinary he is. She adores him. She's 100% loyal. I know so many people that know Fergie, and they all say she is the most charming, loveliest person. And I just worry that she's her.
I've only heard good things about her.
Yeah, I think she's quite sweet and quite innocent, really.
Is she?
And the thing is, if he has done it, because of course we do not know, oh my God, can you imagine if the evidence really comes out? She'll be broken hearted, and the kid and his kids, I mean, just the ongoing humiliation for his children as well. Their weddings have been marred by it, they've had babies. It's just like, I just think he should just talk to someone and just get it done.
And they haven't been able to order a Lorraine for years from Pizza Express. Beryl McNally makes a very serious point. Can we now serve papers on the woman who killed the boy on the bike?
Right, exactly. Those poor people, jeez. I mean, she's despicable, that woman. She
Yeah,
should
and watching
just-
those parents
how can she
over
leave
time.
those parents just tortured in the way that she does? Just come forward and say, I made a terrible mistake. Apologise. Because all the time she's not doing that, to those people, it feels like their child is worthless.
Absolutely.
We watched, didn't we, an interview with them the other day, and we were so moved by them. They were so reluctant. They don't want to be on camera. They don't want to be, but they are. We said, didn't we, at the time, God, we worry about them, because if this ever comes to an end, then they're going to have to get on with their grieving, aren't they? Because I bet
absolutely.
they're just, they're just so focused on getting justice for their son. It's such a sad story.
I agree.
God, Jennifer Lopez are really going for it, aren't they?
J-Lo and
It's
you
so
liked
weird
my
because it
post
was
last
only a
night.
few weeks before that she'd said that before she got with him, it was a few months before that she'd said that things were back on track with her fiance. I do worry this is a bit rebounding.
I worry it's a bit reboundy for both of them. I worry I'm so delighted he's kind of sorting his shit out, but maybe we don't know. Behind the scenes, they both have a much more intricate and intimate understanding of sobriety and all this kind of stuff, and this is them,
How can we know anything?
Yeah, how
At
can we
the
know
moment,
anything?
they both look very, very happy.
All I
and
know
good for
is
them.
that everyone in Venice was looking at them and not Matt Damon and Ridley Scott and Jodie Comer.
They look great together, though, don't they?
They're cracking.
And it's
proper
nice
Hollywood.
to see him well.
Yeah, he looks well, and it's really nice. Just to give you a little bit of context, they were at the premiere, red carpet premiere in Venice for the new Ridley Scott film called The Last Duel, which we've reacted to the trailer. It looks sensational. I personally think Jodie Comer could be up for an Oscar nod, but it has. What's curious about it is Matt Damon and Affleck have come together to write the script again.
Very smart people.
Very smart guys, but yeah, I mean, there's something about Jennifer. I mean, I never had an opinion on Jennifer
fancy
Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez?
I think I do. Because have you seen? I saw her in Hustler. I don't think I can say much more about that really.
Why? Why did you fancy her?
Well, because she was a pole dancer and all that sort of stuff. I mean, even though you were supposed to take a very sort of, I mean, you can't help but spot something.
Listen, every time I see an incredible pole dancer, what was that film we saw recently that upset me so much that I couldn't speak?
Zola.
Zola.
Oh, well, that was...
That girl, pole dancing, it was so sexy. It was so beautiful. I just... And I think when it's not like a sad-eyed, obviously coerced into it woman, they're athletes. I mean, it's just a thing of great, great beauty. And if I was a man, I would like to watch lap. I like to watch lap dancing as a woman.
Do you?
Well, I thought that was beautiful in Zola, and her body was so gorgeous, and her bum was so lovely, and women's bodies are just so beautiful, aren't
Sam
they?
JP says, get a pole, Nad. I hope you mean a pole.
All I'd do is stub my bloody toe on it all the time.
It might be quite a good how to stay married that, because there's a curiosity now as a straight man. It's very hard to actually know where you can say I like what I see.
But why wouldn't you like a beautiful body
Well, no.
twisting itself round a
But
pole?
let me finish, because that sort of objectification of the woman's body has become, hardwired into being a sort of negative thing. So it's quite hard to know to what extent you can go, yeah, I really fancied her in that film because she was stripping. Because that's not why.
She's got a gorgeous body.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, as a...
I mean, a beautiful body is a work of art. It's as beautiful as looking at a good piece of art, isn't it? I mean, you just... Whether we like it or not, it is. But I know what you're saying. It's very difficult.
Elliot Gonzalez, Mark's getting ideas of what to do tonight. I was just thinking, just bring the broom over. You could have a go on the broom.
Do you know what? If I had my time again, I probably would have liked to have learnt how to pole dance.
Would you?
I think it's absolutely beautiful, having watched that film. I think it's so... I mean, the skills of it. I think it should be in the Olympics.
Well, Ellen says it's like ballet. Well, I mean, hang on a minute.
Ballet on a bloody
Break
pole.
dancing is going to be in the Olympics next
Well,
year.
I think pole dancing. You don't have to have...
Right, it's acrobatics.
You don't have to have a pair of pants up your jacksie. Just do the amazing thing on the pole.
No, because as Norway discovered, you've got the volleyballers for that, haven't you?
Mark.
No, I know. I'm saying
That's
Norway were very
awful.
fond to kind of, you're a gentleman, Mark, says Julie Hart. Some men talk disgusting in front of their other halves. You're absolutely right. I wouldn't do that. Reese Roberts says what you've just said. It's mad how much things can change in a year. Because September 2020, A-Rod and J-Lo were discussing their upcoming wedding.
I know.
It's rapid, isn't it? There was a. Do you remember when they were?
Yeah. No, I know, exactly.
What was going on? They sounded like ping pong
Was
tennis.
he unfaithful? Was that what happened?
I don't think so.
I think he was.
Was he? But here's the thing. He was on one boat in the Mediterranean somewhere, and it was almost like she jumped ship and got onto Ben Affleck's boat. And there were photos of them on each other's boats.
It may have been that their hearts were always with each other, and
so.
not that it was actually rebound.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, they look like they
Thanks,
fit.
Jose Aguilar. Buenos tardes, besitos familia. Good afternoon.
Gaffers.
Where are you? If it's it is the afternoon. It's the afternoon here. Sorry. But what do you think of this tendency, like with Brad and Brangelina? And was there one for when he was with Jennifer Aniston? Brad Pitt and what was it?
Brad and Jen? No, I don't think it was.
Brenda, Brand. But now they're calling them Bennifer.
They've always called them Bennifer.
Oh, have they? Oh, I didn't know that. This tendency to kind of fuse people's names. What would ours be? Narc.
Very nice, is it?
Or Nadia.
Madia.
I don't like either of those. Yeah. Remade double. It's like Cirque du Soleil. You're absolutely right. I put in mandatory masks because it keeps coming up.
Why? Just to cheer us up?
Because I saw a photo of a woman with a mandatory mask on. No, here's the thing. This is, having been on the underground a lot,
Only about 2 in 10 people are wearing them on trains and buses.
Absolutely. And I keep going back to this. I know the numbers are going up. Can I just ask, guys, with a few more weeks under our belt, do you think not a lockdown, but do you think there's going to be a firebreaker half term?
I don't think there's going to be a lockdown, and I don't think there's going to be a firebreaker. What do you think?
I don't know. I literally don't know. I mean, all I keep taking hope from is the fact that...
We've been in a lot this summer.
I
know they keep saying, well, the summer's coming to an end and people are going to be indoors. We've had a lot of miserable weather through the summer. It's not like last summer when people really were outside the whole time, is it?
No.
What do you think, guys?
My feeling on it is that whilst the numbers, any death, you don't want any death, but deaths happen with all conditions.
Yeah.
Is that, in a weird way, I take a lot of comfort from the news stories. I know the news want us to be really scared about this, but I take great comfort from the idea that, yes, even if the number of infections goes up, if it's not having an overly enormous impact on deaths and hospitalizations, though I know they are creeping up, then surely that's got to be proof that the whole vaccination antibody thing is working.
Yeah.
So I think we need to kind of have a modicum of kind of calm when the numbers go up.
I've just remembered what
Fucking
we were
hell.
going to talk about today. The
Contraception.
Richard Littlejohn article about all the... We'll have to do that tomorrow.
Contraception. Quickly, what did
No,
you want to
not
ask me?
contraception. We're not going to talk about contraception now because we can't do a rush because I've got to go over to my dad's.
Oh, okay. All right.
But just on that point, I do think... I tell you what, I don't think I'm going to take a booster vaccine. Because the woman yesterday from AstraZeneca, the woman who came... What is it? Not invented, what's the word?
Helped
Developed the Oxford AstraZeneca.
Hit the like button, guys.
She doesn't think it's necessary and that we should be sharing our vaccines around the rest of the world. Because we mustn't forget, it wasn't just a trite slogan. It is not over for us until it is over for the entire world because mutations will continue. And the thing is, it's time to get... It was always time, what am I talking about, to get the rest of the world. And we are... the fat-rich countries that are now going to a third boost just to cover ourselves, and I think we need to share.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've got to go.
Meetube makes a quick, good observation. A lockdown firebreak might happen if they want to distract the media from something. You're absolutely right.
I.e. Brexit and what
Can we do...
Hit the like button, guys. Look at you. There's 800 of you watching and only 124 of you like us.
But if a lot of people have come without a YouTube channel, they can't like us.
You can only hit the like button underneath
if you have an account.
If you have a... Oh yeah, just do this.
So Kaz Stevens, here is Nads. Can you do it when I'm here?
If you're new here, anyone that joins the members area gets their own private little song. And I had a bit of a breakdown yesterday when Olivia joined and I couldn't sing. But Olivia, if you missed it, I did you a very special song, Mark and I did, on the members live, so you can catch it there. So Kaz, welcome to the members area. Actually, you will have missed last night that the new thing on the members area, which we have just started, is that once a month there will be a lottery where anyone who wants to will put their name in, and then using a Google thingy so that it's all fair, we will pick up we will randomly choose one person's name every month, and then once it's proved you're a member, we will do you your own personal film. Maybe it could be for a wedding or a birthday
or a thank you
or
for you.
Or for you, just a film from Mark and I. So that's an extra thing that you get now in the members area. So Kaz Stevens, Mark, I can't do it. I've gone again.
What's happening? You've got stage fright.
Can you start it?
Kaz Stevens.
Kaz Stevens. Kaz Stevens. Kaz Stevens. Welcome to the family guest area.
You've got got nervous, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, get a fight.
Okay, Paula Wares, happy birthday.
Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you're new. So if you hit the bell, that means YouTube will tell you when we are live.
It's not a bell end. Paula Wares.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Paula. Happy birthday to you. Yes, and Bennett, you can as well. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Anne. Happy birthday to you.
And you mustn't forget Taylor.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Taylor. Happy birthday to you.
It's Gloria, not Olivia. Yesterday.
Gloria. Is
It's
Gloria here?
We didn't do Olivia. We did your name. You did Gloria. Did you
Oh, we
want the
did
members
Gloria.
live?
Gloria, you have to go and see the members live because we
Yeah.
talked about you a lot.
Go to the community tab, scroll down, click on it, you'll see it.
But we'll do your welcome song here
It
as
was
well.
an absolute car crash.
Watch the members live from last night.
Yeah. Bye.
No, aren't we singing for Gloria?
I thought, did you
Oh.
not do it last night?
Yeah, it's on the members live. for
Gloria. Who sang the song Gloria? Gloria.
Gloria, Gloria,
Gloria.
na 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 na, Gloria. Right, we didn't do that one. We didn't do that one. Yeah, so don't forget, guys, in the members area, once a month there will be a lottery and somebody will win a private film of Mark and I not pole dancing.
You never know.
Oh,
what
hi
that
guys,
program-
it's my birthday. Jacqueline, of course you can.
Josephine.
Oh, Josephine, I haven't got my glasses.
Oh, right.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Josephine. Happy birthday to you.
Guys.
Yeah, the members live was quite funny last
It
night
was.
because I was a bit pissed.
Guys, have a lovely, lovely Saturday, and obviously something might land later, trailer reaction or something. If not, we'll see you on the morrow for Coffee Moaning. The Sunday show is in
Edit.
production, yeah, have a lovely day, guys.